So welcome to Avatar's Awakening, everybody. We've long been told that humanity would change in the twinkling of an eye at the last Trump. And it has overnight. We now find ourselves in a world that many of us never could have dreamed possible. Ultimately, I believe what is transpiring is positive because from various ancient texts, including the book of Revelation, we know the outcome is assured. The light wins. And that is why we're here, because we represent the light and we're pushing back against the forces of darkness that want to forever transform humanity into even more of a slave race than many people believe we already are. These same prophecies assure us that when we are in our darkest place, when chaos is reigning on the planet, that an avatar, an agent of the light who will push the world together and bring the world together will manifest. An avatar is a word that means sent from God. It's a divine incarnation. It's a Sanskrit word that means descent into the material realm of human existence. And this is key because these avatars come from the non-material realm, the dimension beyond ours. We'll talk about that as we continue. It can be a person, the avatar can be, or it can be an unexpected event, a discovery. It could, in fact, be a person. It's the appearance typically, though, of a deity on earth, whether in human form or as an apparition. And by apparition, I mean the appearance of a light beam type of a person, like the Virgin Mary appeared as an apparition in Lourdes and in Portugal and elsewhere. Jesus appeared as an apparition after his resurrection and ascension. This means the being is in a higher spectrum or higher frequency form. The avatar concept, of course, can be seen in Kalki, the 10th avatar of Vishnu. As we see here, the Kalki avatar rides on a white horse. He ends evil, he purifies everyone's minds and consciousness, and heralds the start of the Satya Yuga, the golden age. We are now presently in the Kali Yuga and moving into the golden age when humanity is going to be ruled by the gods, governed by the gods, and every manifestation or work is close to the purest ideal, and humanity will allow intrinsic goodness to rule supreme. Part of the teaching that goes along with the Kalki avatar is that this is a measured time frame, but that in the time before this yuga begins, we can draw upon the avatar. We can draw upon the qualities of the avatar. And this is what we're seeking to do today, is to align ourselves with those high spiritual, high pure beings. Muslim missionaries in South Asia believed that Muhammad was an incarnation of Kalki. And during his Miraj, as it's called, Muhammad is said to have toured heaven and hell when he ascended into the heavens upon his lightning horse, Al-Barak, that is similar to the white horse that we see the Kalki avatar riding in upon. Muslim tradition is all about the appearance of a new avatar, the Mahdi, the 12th Imam. And they expect that being to appear imminently. According to the Ayatollah Khomeini, for the past decade or so, they've anticipated that the Mahdi, the guided one, as he's referred to, will manifest on earth. And of course, this brings a conflict between Christianity and Judaism. And that's not a topic we're going to get into today, but we do recognize that there is, of course, differing viewpoints among various religious traditions about what will happen when the avatars appear. This is another ascension image of, in the center here on the bottom, we see the black cube of Mecca with the stairway emerging from it. This indicates that the Kaaba in Mecca, the holiest site in Islam, is believed to have been built underneath an entranceway into the higher heavenly realms. And this is what we see illustrated in this image, is this layer cake or multi-dimensional universe out of which the Mahdi emerges. In Buddhism, before he died, the Buddha Shakyamuni prophesied he would return as one even greater than myself. And in Buddhist art, we see the exact same motif that we just saw in Islamic art, where we see the Buddha descending from Meru upon the ladder or stairway to heaven. also ascending upon the very same ladder. We're anticipating that Buddhism will play a critical role in the world to come as it unfolds, a world based more on compassion and awakened and enlightened teachings than anything we've previously seen. Later known as the second Buddha, Padmasambhava appeared in Central Asia during the 8th century and is considered to be the second Buddha. Maitreya Buddha is the 10th incarnation of the Kalki avatar and is thought to also be a later incarnation of the Buddha. But along the way, we pick up some very important teachings from the Buddhists, from Padmasambhava, a high celestial being who manifested on the earth plane in a lotus, was not born of a woman. He materialized through a lotus. He's thought to have lived 1,000 years, just like the Kalki avatar will reign for 1,000 years. And just like the returning Christ avatar is said to reign for 1,000 years of peace as well. The primary mission of Padmasambhava in the 8th century was to teach or reveal the teachings about the rainbow light body, or the great perfection, the Buddhist teaching that is centered on the idea that our body is designed to be dissolved into its primordial essence, its true divine nature, which is the rainbow light body, leaving behind hair, toe, and fingernails, which have no nerves to be transmuted. This most certainly will be a benchmark teaching of the avatar as it appears or manifests in our time. For Buddhists, the ultimate goal of spiritual practice is to awaken our true nature, which is the nature of the fully enlightened Buddha. This isn't something that we go out and acquire. It is something we already are and we reveal. Our Buddha nature that we already possess is like capital to invest. If we are aware that we have this capital, this intrinsic sacred nature, we live one life. If we're unaware of it, we lead, of course, another life. And many of us on the awakened path have aligned with the rainbow light body teaching and are investing our spirit, our energy, our emotion into revealing this higher aspect of ourselves, our true inner nature. In this image of Padmasambhava, we see the blue sphere at the pineal gland, indicating that awakening the pineal gland and the crown is a very important aspect of this teaching. We'll get into that more as we continue. I've discussed it in detail in my Sacred Art of, Art of Living Ascension presentations here on Portal to Ascension and elsewhere. And I would refer you to those previous workshops and presentations. The white Tara, of course, is a manifestation of this rainbow light body teaching, this goddess of compassion, and represents a divine feminine reflection or perspective on this same teaching, as does the images of the ascension of Mary, the mother of the Christ avatar. In her ascension or assumption, we see her enfolded in rainbow colored light. And as a result of that, she is then able to phase back into the material world. She leaves behind her physical body, manifests her rainbow light body, her ascension body, and then is able to materialize as an apparition in our frame of reference, just like the white Tara, just like Padmasambhava. It's because they're all part of the same lineage, they're part of the same type of being, and ultimately are representative of humans who have completed this cycle and their ability to manifest the same type of body. And this is our goal. This is what we're aligning with as part of this avatar teaching, is awakening this aspect of ourselves in calling upon these avatars, be it white Tara, be it Mary, Christ, Padmasambhava, the Mahadi even, are representative of this teaching. All of human history is a quest for our ascension to a higher state of consciousness and our original state of being. And of course, the ultimate question is, how do we do that? And that is what my work has been devoted to for this past decade. Those of you who have seen previous presentations know that I like to share these images of Padmasambhava, not just because they're strikingly beautiful images, but because in the Tibetan rainbow light body teaching, the image itself shows us the way to do it. The image shows us how to connect with Padmasambhava as an avatar, as a pure spiritual being. Padmasambhava, like Mary, like the Christ avatar and others, have the ability to transmit their vibration through the image, especially through eye-to-eye contact, eye-to-eye meaning soul-to-soul contact. Through quantum entanglement, they are able to transmit to us the codes, the vibrations that activate our light body. And what we are to do is to contemplate, meditate, and reflect on images such as this, and understand the symbolism that's being portrayed. The resurrection stick that opens the gates of heaven, the crown of glory, the Vajra, the Tibetan key of life, which is actually compassion in action, the golden rays manifesting from Padmasambhava's body, the lotus throne, and then ultimately the ring portal or gateway that surrounds his body. These are all attributes of Padmasambhava. They are symbolic of aspects of our own consciousness, our own avatar consciousness. And as we connect with these images, we're actually connecting with the innermost aspect of ourselves, our true divine nature. For the person on the avatar path, there are two ways to the rainbow light body. First, you practice connection to Padmasambhava. I am wearing a crown on my head. I'm holding the Vajra and possess the resurrection stick is an affirmation. But after that, you look into who is it that images all this? It's not the physical William Henry. This is a manifestation. This vehicle that you see is a manifestation of that divine aspect within me. The Gnostics call it the divine spark. So as you look into this image, who is it that images all this? It's actually our divine spark that seeks to be clothed in this physical body at this time, at this moment, to perform a high spiritual function, to act as an agent of our Creator, to hold a space of peace, to hold a space of love, to fulfill karma, to pursue other active roles that are individually specific. But the key is to recognize is that our true self is not the being you see reflected on the screen in terms of a mortal flesh and blood human being. The true William Henry, like your true self, is actually that part of you, that divine aspect that is manifesting this body and now is the part that is looking at this image. I have aligned the Tibetan rainbow light body images with what's called the Buddha Brot, which is a fractal. And the teaching is that we are all made in the image of God. And that image is not as a old bearded white man on the throne that we see typically presented in Judeo-Christian art. The image of God that we're made in is the rainbow light body. That is our true self. Our physical body, quote unquote, hangs on the rainbow light body. And our rainbow light body, our true nature, is covered over by false perceptions, by negative perceptions, indeed by our culture that wants us to focus exclusively on our physical selves. But the Buddhists teach in this avatar path that visualizing our true divine self, this divine spark, begins the process of aligning with that aspect of ourselves. And the more that we align with it, the more we ultimately then have the opportunity to live from this space. And living from this space then puts us in connection with the avatars and puts us in alignment with that higher spiritual mission that the avatars are manifesting in our world at this time. And of course, the rainbow light body is identical to the resurrection body in the Christian tradition. John Van Eyck's painting of the resurrection is one of my favorites that perfectly illustrates this correspondence between the Tibetan and the Christian tradition. The avatars manifest in this way. They live from the rainbow light body. And today in the West, the concept of the avatar is, of course, often associated with the second coming of Christ. And an idea in which has been dominant in Judeo-Christian European culture for the past 2,000 years. We can argue that all of Western history is about the moment when the second coming of Christ manifests and a new kingdom of heaven is seen upon the earth. The New Jerusalem manifests. But before we get there, we have to duke it out with Satan, according to the book of Revelation, and the demons that want to put a mark of the beast in our forehead or in our hand, a mark of the beast that aligns us with the dark forces of the universe. In the book of Revelation, we learn of 144,000 souls that are aligned with Christ that say, I'm not going to take the mark of the beast. I'm not going to allow that chip. I'm not going to allow the powers that be to break the skin barrier and take over my physical body. Instead, I'm going to manifest, as it's described in the book of Revelation, I'm going to manifest the seal of God. And the seal of God is a crown. It is our activated light body that protects us during this battle with the demonic forces that seek to take over our planet. And many believe, and I certainly concur, that we are in that battle now. The forces of darkness are aligned. They are aligned and they are showing themselves through inscrutable and domineering control, through censorship, through mandates, through illegal, in fact, actions that take away the sovereignty of the soul. And this is why now is the time when, if we've ever wondered, when am I going to really start to put the pedal to the metal and start activating my light body? Now is that time. And whether you follow the Buddhist path or the Christian path or the Islamic path or the Hindu path, they all ultimately, I believe, lead to that same place. The avatars come from a realm beyond religion, even perhaps beyond spirituality. And they are encouraging us to reach into that realm and draw down that power. And we can draw down that power through eye-to-eye, soul-to-soul contact through images with these avatars. And that's why these eye-to-eye images are so important, and why Claire and I have gone to such lengths to try to discover these images for you and to offer them as another tool in your practical, your kit of practical applications and meditations. And you can clearly see the correspondence here between Padmasambhava with his resurrection stick and the resurrected Christ with his resurrection stick, the crown, the breastplate, the rainbow light body. It's all interchangeable. And the reason why this is important, because this is what we're called upon now to activate. As I said a moment ago, the Judgment Day text, the book of Revelation, described the time of the second coming when the resurrected Christ, the avatar, returns. And it refers to that group of 144,000 righteous souls, undoubtedly more than 144,000, who combat and defeat a dreadful beast who seeks to enslave humanity. That beast is AI. That beast is transhumanism. That beast is running wild on our planet right now. It is taking away your rights. It is trying to take away your rights, trying to take away your sovereignty. It is trying to engender fear on a scale never seen before on this planet. The 144,000 will be aided by a holy fire or frequency that pours over the planet during this time and separates the wheat from the chaff. That's what John the Baptist said in the Gospel of Matthew. There's a spirit that we can tap into that will aid us. In Christianity, it's referred to as the Holy Spirit. The Hindus call it Kundalini. There are numerous terms for this vibration that is ever present in the cosmos, a divine and cosmic vibration that we can draw upon. But John also warned about a second fire that would also engulf the planet. As I wrote in my article, 5G, Humanity's Baptism by Fire, I believe the second frequency is 5G and 6G and beyond it. And what is happening now is that there is a bifurcation that is occurring, and John the Baptist prophesied this. You will have the forces that will seek to remain organic and draw upon our spiritual power to call in this divine and Holy Spirit. And then you will have the others that want you to feed upon their vibration, which is the 5G. And those who push the 5G upon us will argue that by embodying this technology, the AI technology and the transhuman technology, you will be separating the wheat from the chaff. They believe they will be the wheat. They will be amped up with pharmaceuticals, with nanotechnology, with AI, and they believe that they will be a superior being and that the chaff will be those who remain human. That's what I mean, remain human, because this bifurcation calls upon a splitting of the human race from those who remain organic and remain human and those who choose to go along the transhuman path, the H2O path, the humanity 2.0 path. And it's up to you to decide which path you're going to choose. But the fact of the matter is that remaining a pure human is getting more and more difficult, because all of us, we're using the technology of the beast to communicate at this very moment. We are bathing in 5G frequencies. We are engaging in a culture that is pushing pharmaceuticals, AI, transhumanism upon us, and many of us have gone several steps along that way.